Hello everybody, I'm Elwirfy and today we're back playing some more stories from Soul, the Gun Dog. And we are currently looking for possible dead bodies. Let's keep exploring. We went to the bridge. I think we were in the airlock. We went to sickbay. Let's start with maybe the aft thoroughfare. That'd be interesting. As you move from the central hub toward the darkness of the aft thoroughfare, a movement catches your eye. Oh, we found someone. You stop to peer into the darkness ahead and catch sight of a silhouette in the distance. Whoa. Hey, who's there? I'm from the Gun Dog. You call out, using your radio to broadcast yourself. We're here to help. Come back. As the figure vanishes into the gloom, you dash after it, eventually arriving at the end of the long corridor that makes up the aft thoroughfare. Having headed past the armory, you move towards the end of the corridor, a dead end when considering the doors to the engineering department are sealed. Okay. Did I just imagine it? Maybe. You turn around trying to see if you'd missed something, but with no signs of life here aside from yourself, you begin to doubt that you saw anything at all. This mission must be getting to me. Better get it over with before I start seeing things. Yeah, I think so. We all saw the flash. I don't know if he's hallucinating or what. It's kind of weird. Should we go to the armory? Let's check it out. Bracing yourself with your left hand against the wall by the entrance to the armory, you bring your right hand down in a fist against the door. You continue to pound your fist against the unyielding entryway, hoping that if anyone's in there, that they have enough air that they'll be able to hear you and respond. After a few seconds of pounding, you press your helmet against the door, hoping that you can pick up the vibrations of someone returning your signal. Okay. I guess we'll just hang out. You're met with nothing but silence. Okay. You stand back and hammer the door harder this time. After your fist begins to ache, you press your helmet back against the door's paneling, holding your breath and listening for any signs of activity. With no sign of life, you dejectedly step back, giving the door one final slam with your fist and cursing the silence. Okay, so nothing. Okay, let's go to the central hub. Oh, no, we were just there. Crap. Half thoroughfare. Whoops. Let's go to engineering. Just like you had seen on the Gun Dog a few hours earlier, where the aft thoroughfare should transition into the engineering department. Instead, all you see is a gigantic blast door. Okay. From experience crawling underneath one of these, you knew that there was no way you could ever hope of moving it manually. On top of that, there was no point in attempting to open it before you had the emergency access codes. With the battery power the door took to open, you'd probably shut yourself in engineering with no way to get back out. Before that, though, you'd need a key card belonging to one of the crew. As fast as you had no hope of opening it, whether it was pointless or otherwise. You turn back and move away from the door, making your way back to the aft thoroughfare. Oh, you know what we should do? Let's go back to the central hub. Let's go to the sickbay. Let's use on her. Let's see if she has a key card. You stand over the doctor, trying to see if there are any clues to what happened to her beyond the crack in her glasses lens. As you survey her, you notice that, unlike Dr. Rosarium, she doesn't wear her stethoscope around her neck or her keycard on a lanyard. Hang on, her keycard. The thought reminds you of the chief's instructions that you'd need to use a keycard from the member of the O'Brien's crew if you were going to activate any doors with the PST. You steel your resolve, aware of what you need to do, but not finding the concept altogether pleasant. Sorry about this, Doctor. Squatting beside her, you pat the doctor down. Oh, calm down. They're dead. Don't even worry about that kind of stuff. It's a corpse. Although the thickness of your spacesuit's gloves makes the task difficult, you do your best to be respectful. Eventually, you reach the doctor's waist and feel a protrusion from her side. Opening her white coat, you see an internal pocket, and after a moment spent trying to fit your gloved hand inside, you manage to grab a hold of something and pull it out. Hey, we got the key card. Okay, great. You stand up and read the name on the back of the card, Dr. Esri DeBauer. DeBauer? I don't know. You unclasp a pouch on the side of your suit and deposit the card in and close it again. The doctor won't have the clearance to let me access the central computer, but maybe this will let me find someone who does. Thank you for your help, Dr. DeBauer. Yeah, I'm sorry we didn't get here sooner. Okay, let's move back. Let's, we haven't been to the Forsyth Thoroughfare yet. Should we check out some other stuff? Let's try maybe fire control. You exhale slowly as you look at the door to the O'Brien's fire control. On the gun dog, Dylan had his music to keep him occupied. Whoever was assigned to this station on the O'Brien probably wasn't so lucky, probably. With this thought in mind, you carry out the process of hammering on the door, resting your helmet on it, and giving it another go after nothing but silence in return. After a few attempts where you hear nothing coming from the room beyond, you step back, mentally crossing the room from your list of potential safe havens on the board. Okay, that's fine. What's more? We go to the mess hall. Given the time when the gun dog and presumably O'Brien had blocked out, you knew there shouldn't be anyone in the mess hall. Despite this, you also knew that it wasn't uncommon for crew members to disappear from stations briefly to grab a quick pick-me-up treat, especially if their duty was quiet. Okay? And especially if that crew member's name was Cassandra Quinn. Fair enough. You go through the routine of hammering on the door, waiting for a response, and continuing to batter it with your fist, just in case you hadn't been heard the first time. Yeah, so there's nothing. Despite your best efforts, you don't manage to get a response. I feel like we're just supposed to go to the engineering, but before we go to the engineering, I want to just try the other stuff. It's like the hangar. We're not going to get in, probably. As you make your way through the gloom of the Forsyth Thoroughfare, you absentmindedly knock on the low-gravity warning sign just before the double doors that lead you to the ship's hangar. Placing the portable subterminal by your feet, you hammer on the doors with your fist, hopeful that if anyone hears you, they'll hear the signal and reciprocate the kind. After around 10 seconds of this, you stop and press your helmet against the door. If there is any noise in there, the vibration should travel through the door and into your helmet, allowing you to hear it. I guess no one's in there. Oh! Oh, shoot, we actually find someone. Hey, can you hear me in there? You call out, resuming your hammering of the door when you get no response. Hey, whoever's in there, we're from the JFS Gundog. We're here to rescue you. Can you hear me? There's definitely someone in there, although you're still not getting in an obvious response. That's weird. Although you're still not getting an obvious response, the knowledge that someone is in there fills you with a sense of urgency, and you hurriedly get on your suit's radio to broadcast. This is Lieutenant Riley Wirfs of the JFS Gundog. We're here to provide assistance to any crew on the JFS O'Brien. I repeat, this is Lieutenant Riley Wirfs of the JFS Gundog. We're here to provide you with assistance to any of the crew on the JFS O'Brien. It doesn't seem like they can hear me, but if there's a chance the commander is in there, I need to take it. Although there's a chance that they may not be in a spacesuit yet, if I open the doors now, I risk pulling them out in the vacuum. There may be something I've missed that could get me access codes more safely. Let's keep exploring. It's really tempting to just charge in there and grab them, but I should only do it if there's no other option. I'll have this sorted out soon, whoever you are. Yeah, we need to go to the engineering. I know, but let's just explore a bit first. 'Cause we went to both those. So let's go to the first crew quarters area and start trying to use any of these. Despite hammering as hard as you can on the door, there's no response. Okay, there's Boot, there's Stat, and Rui. Pounding against the door. Okay, nothing. Despite hammering, nope. Try that. Despite hammering, nope. Okay. Oh, the O'Brien crew quarters. Stood outside the door that would be yours, had you served on the O'Brien instead of the Gundog. You can't help but feel a bit nauseous. The familiarity of the door, the corridor, the thoroughfare, all of it forces you to think about how close the Gundog came to being out here before the O'Brien, okay? You push that thought from your mind. As close as it was to happening, it didn't. You were here now, not whoever lived behind that door. Balling up your right hand into a fist, you hammer against the door, then place your helmet against it, waiting for a response. When you don't get one, you repeat the process a few more times until eventually you step back, rubbing your gloved hand to try and ease the soreness from pounding on the door. No one's in. Okay. Let's move to crew quarters 2. Start using some doors. For all the effort you put into slamming the door, it's wasted. Okay, despite hammering. Nope. Nothing. Nothing. Let's start with the crew quarters. Standing in front of the door that, on the Gundog, would be the entrance to Cassandra's quarters, you begin to feel a bit queasy. You've been doing your best not to think about how, aside from some lucky coincidences, this could have happened to the Gundog instead of the O'Brien. Despite your best efforts to keep that thought out of your mind, you can't help but dwell on it seeing a door that could have been Cassie's, who spends their free time on the other side of this door, as it's as much of a mess. Is it as much of a mess as Cassie's room? How close were the two of you from having this happen to you? Yeah, I mean, that's a lot to think about. Now's not the time for that. Fair enough. You remind yourself, stating it out loud to force the thoughts away. With your focus back on the task at hand, you repeat the process you've been using to check for signs of life or crew activity. Unfortunately, you get nothing back. Captain's quarters. Let's try it. You approach the captain's quarters at the end of the corridor, and you see the same Jovian insignia as the one on Captain Bartomew's door. Below is a nameplate which proudly presents O'Brien's captain's full name, Paul Henry Gerald. Okay. With Dr. Bower's key card in your possession, you move towards the captain's door and lay the PST off to the side. All right, let's try this. You know you're not going to find Captain Gerard in there, and the chances of anyone else being in his quarters is extremely slim, but the potential that there might be something of use in there, like the O'Brien's access codes, is too great to ignore. I didn't even think of that, but that's great. All right, let's go for it. Boom. I need to be mindful about when I use this. There's no point in opening all the doors and running around the PST's battery before I've found anyone. Oh, wait. You kneel down, and we got to use the PST. You kneel down beside the terminal, linked to the captain's quarters, and begin the well-practiced process of connecting the PST and going through its menus, eventually selecting the unlock function. And now... Okay, I did the wrong order. With a sense of trepidation, you unfasten the pouch in your belt and take out the doctor's keycard. As a security officer, your card had enough authority to access every room short of the central computer, even the captain's. You weren't entirely sure that a doctor's card would be sufficient. Without much of an alternative, you slide Dr. DeBauer's card into the slot and hold your breath. Okay, let's see if it works, guys. I hope it works. Thankfully, you see the door begin to slowly slide open, and with an exhalation of relief, you stand up. Once the door is open enough to allow you through, you make your way inside. As you'd expected, Captain Gerard's quarters were almost identical to Captain Bartomew's, with a few small differences. I think the bonsai's different. Like the lack of any open bottles of liquor. Right. In the place of the whiskey bottle you'd seen in Captain Mary's room, you'd see a neatly pruned bonsai, but provided that there's nothing obviously distinct, even the artwork on the wall behind the desk is the same. Yeah. Oh, there's files on the thing. Well, time to get to work. Let's see if I can find something useful. Well, I think the desk is the best one to start. Terminal's not going to be working, so let's check those drawers. You head around to the back of the desk and try each drawer, working your way from top to bottom. Okay. Unsurprisingly, they're all locked. I'll need to find the keys if I'm gonna... Yeah. Okay. Let's go there. As you head into the bedroom, you take the time to look around thoroughly. You hadn't liked going into the Captain Bartomew's quarters, and you didn't like doing it anymore here. Fair. Working your way from left to right, you check the large chest of drawers before moving on to the bedside table, and then eventually the area around the bed. Despite a rigorous check of the room, you don't find anything interesting or useful, just personal effects of the captain that you can't help but feel guilty for rifling through. How about this door? Although you can't think of anything important that you might find in the captain's bathroom, you feel a compulsion to search it anyway. He might be dead on the toilet, you don't know. You gotta check. Don't make it awkward. Despite a thorough examination, the only thing you leave with is that you don't have What? Despite a thorough examination, the only thing you leave with that you didn't have when you entered is an in-depth knowledge of the captain's choice of bathroom products. Is there another use I'm not supposed to? There's a time and a place for thinking about my civil heritage, and now isn't. Well. Do I look in here? A bed, a chest, a drawers, bedside table. Pretty much all the same things as Captain Barnaby's. Okay. So, is there nothing? What about talk? There's no one in here right now. Really? Oh, I can click on the file folders. Oh, you hesitate for a moment and consider whether or not you should pick up the files in front of you. Although, in normal circumstances, doing such a thing would result in severe disciplinary action, you reason that these aren't exactly normal circumstances. Anything that could explain what had gone on or help the O'Brien had to be investigated. Besides, you think it's not like this would be the first report you'd read today that you shouldn't have. Well, that's fair. You take the file in hand and read the heavy printed text on the front. JCF Naval Report, JFS O'Brien, Mission Log 132, August 4th, in the year 0214. Flicking through the report is made difficult by the clumsiness of your spacesuit's gloves, but you manage to quickly slim your way through the file's contents. You scan the pages of general day-to-day ship operations to see if you can find anything out of the ordinary. As you work your way through the logs, a few curious entries among the expected information catch your attention. Okay. April 8th, PC-214, JFS O'Brien's routine patrol path adjusted to investigate erratic Higgs field distortion in outer limits of JCF territory. April 19th, PC-214, investigation revealed significant residual boson distortion. Inconsistent with standard JCF drive output, JFS Gundog dispatched to support with investigation. April 21st, PC-214, continuous sweep of the area surrounding the distortion finds unknown object, not recognized as Jovian, Martian, or Solar Federation. Ensigns Butte and Stett, we saw Stett's room earlier, and Butte, dispatched to retrieve object onboarded at 1927 JST. April 22nd, PC-214, long-range communication systems remains down. Source not yet identified by Chief Engineer DeForge. O'Brien moved to rendezvous point to meet JFS Gundog for duty transfer. Okay. April 23rd, PC-214, rendezvous with JFS Gundog behind schedule. Chief Engineer DeForge investigating unknown object for potential cause of communication failure. Destructive investigation authorized. Okay, sounds like they ran into similar issues as us around the time they took whatever this unknown object is on board. Okay. Unknown object, huh? Okay. So no key card, though. There's nothing else to click. Oh, the bonsai. We can click on the bonsai. If this is all for nothing, I guess I could take this back to the Gundog with me, though I don't know how long trees last in space. Although, I should probably leave it alone until I know for certain. Fine. Nothing to click in here. Just double checking the screen. Okay. Alright. Let's go to the O'Brien crew quarters. There's no indication anyone's in here. Oh. Did I already go there? I already went there. Okay, so we went to both those. Went there, we went there. Let's go to the central hub. Okay. Came in through the airlock. We've been to the bridge. So we need to go to the aft thoroughfare. And let's move to the engineering. And without the emergency access codes, never need to activate the central computer. I just get stuck. Am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something. Well, we can go back to the airlock. You stop as you enter the room just before the airlock, where you'd been so used to the huge main shutter warnings on the Gundog. Here on the Obrian, there's nothing but a vast corridor into space. Wait, what if we fly around again? Being able to see stars like this from this position, you couldn't help but feel uncomfortable. Their light, as gentle as it feels, forced intrusion on this room, somewhere they should never be intimate. You spend a few more moments gazing out of the airlock before you shake your head to clear your thoughts. If there was any hope for the Obrian's crew, it was that you'd act fast, and that your stargazing wasn't helping anyone. Really? Wait. The access panel is still covering the emergency access lever. How could they have opened it without using it? What about this hatch? There's no one here right now. I can't figure out why they'd have opened both doors at once. They must have known what would happen. They probably... I don't know, I'm half tempted to go back to the bridge. Is there anything else to do? I haven't missed anything, right? Okay. So if we go here... we went there. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go to the hangar. With Dr. DeBoer's keycard, I'll be able to access the hangar. Although, there's a chance that whoever is in there may not be in a spacesuit, yet if I open these doors now, I will risk pulling them out into the vacuum. There may be something I've missed that could let me get access codes more safely. Oh, man. You know what? Honestly, you didn't let me get into engineering. I've been to every single crew quarters. You know what? Let's keep him forward. Let's go to the bridge. Fine. Yeah. Let's go to the central hub. Screw it. Let's go back to the bridge. Let's see what we can find. Talk to Hansen. You look towards Hansen, who remains mostly out of sight, hidden by the bulk of the work at the station. Spend a few seconds thinking about asking him if he needs any help, or asking how things are going, but after considering the likely responses you get to those questions, you decide against it. Probably better to leave him be. Despite already having Dr. Bo's keycard, you still needed a keycard belonging to someone on the bridge crew if you were to have any chance at accessing the central computer to reactivate the O'Brien. Right, there'd be no better card to accomplish this than the captain's. I agree. Wait, but he's not the captain. Isn't Paul Gerard the captain? As you walk around to the front of the captain's chair shoulder, the shock that you must have felt, what? Okay, as you walk around to the front of the captain's chair, you shudder. The shock that must have killed him had left his hands clasping the armrest like talons. Yeah. His face is gaunt and his eyes open wide, together with how the corners of his mouth had drawn back as far as they would go into a horrendous grin. The whole expression was unnerving, as if he'd been killed by some fatal, hilarious joke. You know what you would need to do, and although it's a practical necessity, something about this feels wrong. Sorry about this, Captain Gerard. Fair enough. You pat the captain down, but find no indication that he's carrying his keycard in his pockets. As you stand back for a moment, trying to think if there's anywhere he may have left it, your eyes are drawn to the hand tightly clenching the armrest, which also doubles as a control panel. You remember having seen Captain Bartimeus insert her keycard into the equivalent panel on the Gundog on occasion to unlock certain functions. As a grim wave of realization hits you, you think that if the card wasn't on the captain, the control panel is the most likely place it would be. Duh. The only issue with that was that Captain Gerard's death grip was covering the slot for the keycard. Break his arm! Just do it! With a knock in your stomach, you lay your hand on the captain's. Right? Okay, a shiver run down your spine. You're just starting to squeeze your fingers underneath his palm and starting to pull when you look down and you notice the gleam of starlight reflecting off a piece of plastic by the captain's foot. Oh, thank God. With a huge sigh of relief, you kneel down and take the card from the floor. Luckily for you, the captain must have dropped it just before he was shocked. Okay. Okay. As you pass the card from one hand to another, inspecting the front and back, you see that it appears to have all but melted. Oh, shit. The plastic coating is mostly stripped away, and what remains has bubbled up. With the remnants of the magnetic strip flaking off, you can tell from its condition that it's not getting you anywhere. You sigh as you lay the remains of the card by the captain's hand. If I can't find a card with access to the central computer, There's no hope for the Obrian. You know the next obvious choice. This guy. Although you already have the Dr. Burroughs key card, you knew that it wouldn't have the clearance needed for access to the ship's central computer. Yeah, we get it. For that, you need either the captain's card or a card from one of the two members of operations. He's the only other one, right? The captain's card had been fried beyond usability by whatever happened to him, but maybe Lieutenant Bashir's card could have... Oh, that's Lieutenant Bashir. I'm sorry. This is the Captain Gerard. I see. Well, maybe Lieutenant Bashir's card had been more lucky. Okay, you gingerly move towards Lieutenant and, doing your best to be as gentle as possible, you pat down his left hand trouser pocket, feeling nothing through the thick gloves of your spacesuit. You head to the other side of his chair before repeating the same action on his right pocket. This time you feel something. With a sense of unease, you attempt to remove the contents of his pocket whilst trying not to disturb the body too much. Eventually, but with some difficulty caused by the clumsiness of your spacesuit and your desire not to disturb Bashir's body any more than you need to, you manage to pull what feels like it could be his key card. It's broken too. Okay, you return the card. You turn the card over a few more times. It's definitely the lieutenant's key card, but it looks like it's been half melted. Not only is it warped out of shape, but the plastic coating is blistered, with the magnetic strip on its back almost entirely peeled off. You can tell from its condition that it's totally useless. You wouldn't even be able to fit it into any card reader or terminal, even if the surface hadn't been ruined. Great. Looks like this won't get me anywhere. Just like the captain's, hopefully I can find the second in command, otherwise there'll be nothing we can do for the Obrian. Okay, back we go. You know what? I guess I did everything I could. I forgot, was the hangar or the engineering the one we needed to? With the Dr. Burroughs can't access the hangar, although there's a chance that whoever's in there may not be in a spacesuit. Yeah, fuck it. We're opening the door. We're done. Alright, let's see who's in there. I've done literally everything I can think of. We're gonna go in. So, you unlatch the front of the portable subterminal's casing and activate the device, watching pensively as it runs through its startup sequence. Once complete, you hurriedly run through all the necessary options as quickly as you can, doing your best to ensure that you use the least amount of battery power necessary. One last thing. Yep, let's do it. You quickly unfasten the pouch you'd placed the doctor's keycard in, withdraw it, and slot it into the device. With the same infuriating slowness as the others, the doors to the hangar begin to move. You waste no time in standing up and working your way through the tight gap before the doors are even a quarter of the way open. Noticing the absence of any signs of depressurization, you continue to force your way through the doors. As soon as you're through your suit, as soon as you're through, you vault your way down the stairwell, skipping increasingly more steps at a time as gravity disappears until you're eventually floating past entire sets of stairs altogether. Okay, good, the door's closed. Setting your radio to broadcast with one hand and grabbing the guardrail in front of you with the other, you call out into the dark void of the hangar. Hello, is anyone there? Hello, this is Lieutenant Wirfs from the JFS Gundog. We've come to help. Hello! Yeah, we peered into the darkness and saw nothing. God, that was really loud. Sorry about that, guys. I just had to click through it. Oh, shit. Is that a fucking alien? Oh, that is cool. I'm gonna use my gun. You stand frozen in place, unable to move your legs, unable to speak as the huge machine that has just pulled itself out of the darkness looms over you. Quick, get the gun! It's unlike anything you've ever seen before. No ship, shuttle, armored frame, or worker pod that you know of looks the slightest bit like this. As you will yourself to do something, anything, the thing in front of you remains totally motionless until suddenly something deep inside tells you that you've only got moments to react to whatever's going on. Run! Snapping out of your paralysis, you spin and kick off the guardrail, launching yourself towards the hangar entrance. Within seconds, you're already up The first flight of stairs and beginning to feel the pull of the O'Brien's gravity when an intense light floods the stairwell. Whoa. This thing might have killed the whole crew. We gotta get out of here. You stop and look down as the light fades and see whatever just happened has resulted in a slice through the flooring below the stairs you'd just left and the wall behind them, leaving warped metal, superheated and glowing either side. Yeah, good thing we got the fuck out of there. Seeing more light flooding the stairwell from beyond the hangar entrance, you turn back around and sprint up the stairs, scrambling out of the double doors and into the four-side thoroughfare. As you stumble into the corridor, you grab your radio. Hanson, get to the Juno right now. We need to leave. You yell as you bolt for the central hub. Hanson, do you hear me? We need to get out of the ship immediately. Come on, we gotta go. Hanson! Oh, shit. Fucking run. Good thing we didn't try and talk. You scream one last time before sprinting down the remainder of the four-side thoroughfare. Whoa. Oh my god. As you pass the boundary into the central hub of the corridor behind you is illuminated with another intense flash of light. You don't turn around. Instead, you continue at the speed towards the airlock where the Juno had left. Hanson, I'm serious. We need to leave now, before this ship's torn to pieces. Get off the bridge and get down here. With no response from Hanson, your mind races. You're doing your best to formulate a plan. When you look back at the four-side thoroughfare and see it's scored with huge cuts that run from the floor to the ceiling, the liquefied metal of the ship's structure framing their paths. Ah, damn it! The same instinct you had that saved you in the hangar kicks in, and you turn towards the airlock, racing towards the open entrance and the stairs you can see in the distance. Yep, yeah, we're getting the fuck out. As you head towards the open cockpit, the armored frame, you try and remember the startup sequence that will let you pilot it if you get out of here. You begin to climb the Juno's chest, up the Juno's chest, and as you reach the top, you look inside and see the pilot's seat empty. Ugh. God damn it, Cruz, where are you? You know what? Leave him. He's being a dick the whole time. Leave his ass. That's like what you get. Looking back towards the entrance of the airlock, you see no one in the distance. You know you have a choice to make. Let's wait for Hanson. That's the right thing to do. We're already in the suit, and the airlock's open. We could always leap out if we needed. You cry in frustration, slamming your fist onto the cockpit hatch. But if he can get out, I shouldn't be a dickhole. I mean, it's not his fault. He couldn't hear me in the radio, and it didn't give me a chance. I didn't get a chance to go run up to the bridge. Let's just wait and see if Hanson can come here. Maybe he'll thank me for once. Maybe he'll form a friendship. You cry in frustration, slamming your fist onto the cockpit hatch. Despite every instinct you have screaming at you to run, you know you can't just abandon Hanson. Regardless of his personality, he's still a crewmate. That's how I feel. I feel like he doesn't deserve to die, you know? Your eyes fix on the corridor leading into the airlock as you wait for him to appear. You know he hadn't received your radio signals, but he must have seen what was happening to the ship from the bridge. You'd hope. Come on, come on, come on, come on! You mutter, your right leg beginning to twitch in anticipation. Yeah. Whoa! We're still gonna wait. Sorry, this is gonna be a longer episode, guys. As the beam of energy tears through the airlock and the ceiling, you barely react. You've made your decision, and you're going to wait for Hanson until the last possible second. I agree. I don't care. We're not... It'll be fine. Cruz, you asshole, you better get yourself into this Juno right now, or I swear to God I'll... You'll what, sir? Ah, thank God. At the entrance room containing the airlock, you see Hanson, black box under one arm, running at full speed towards you. Yeah, also we needed the black box, right. I'm here now. Guess it's a shame I won't see what discipline you had planned out for me. Okay. Ensign, shut up and get us out of here. Whatever you say, sir. In one swift motion, the Hanson pulls himself up to the cockpit entrance and disappears inside. As soon as he's in, you enter after him and quickly begin to buckle yourself into the passenger seat. In just a few seconds, Hanson pulls the lever and seals the Juno's cockpit and works its way through the entire startup sequence. Even before the main monitor is active, he pulls back on the flight sticks, and you feel the rumble of the Juno's engines moving from the armored frame away from the ship as the main view screen switches on, showing the O'Brien shrinking into the distance. Okay. What did you do? 1 minute I'm pulling out the black box. The next I can see is a light show going on outside, and some kind of laser beam nearly cuts me in half. Yeah. I didn't do anything. There was something in the hangar, and then it went off. It was tearing the whole ship apart from the inside. So you tripped an AF's weapon system or something? I can't let you anywhere near these things without you causing problems. You're about to continue your protests at Hansen when you see a column of light penetrate the surface of the O'Brien. What the fuck? That's it. That's got to be some sort of prototype AF or something. I've never seen a weapon like it. Tore through the O'Brien's hull like paper. What the hell kind of weapon is that? No idea, but we need to take it out. We need to stop it, whatever it is, before it can do this to the gun dog. Hey, look at our lieutenant. Who knew you had the stones? Hell yeah, we're going to blow this shit up. Guess it's easier to make an order than to follow through, though. So don't think you're hot stuff yet. Cruz, would you just... Before you can finish, Hansen slams the controls forward, pushing you back into your seat and sending the Juno directly towards the enemy at top speed. Hell yeah, let's blow this shit up. As you struggle with the frame's acceleration, you look across Hansen, who's leaning forward, a deep scowl on his face with his chest visibly rising and falling. Looking back at the main monitor, you see the O'Brien growing at an alarming rate, and as its targeting reticle on the screen shifts back and forth over the approximate location of the target. As suddenly as Hansen had started forwards the unknown machine atop the O'Brien, he brings both feet down hard on the pedal attached to the bottom of the pilot seat, causing the Juno to suddenly jet upwards. Alright, I don't know what this thing is, but we're going to kill it. This maneuver is quickly followed by both flight sticks being yanked backwards, bringing the armored frame to a halt just above the target. As the reticle cascades over the enemy machine, Hansen pulls the trigger and fires a slew of bullets, which fly through the space that had been just moments before occupied by the mysterious enemy. You see small explosions as the rounds rip through the innards of the O'Brien. Was it a hallucination? What the fuck? What? Where did it... With a deft manipulation of the controls, Hansen simultaneously rotates the armored frame and sends it flying away from the O'Brien. At speed, he scours monitors for any signs of the target. Things fast, too. Oh, shit. As quickly as it disappeared, the unidentified craft reappears immediately in front of you, a telltale glow emanating from the forwardmost protrusion on its body. Oh, God, we're about to blow up. In the second that it had to do so, Hansen had detached the Juno's shield and hurled it at the machine, disrupting its beam and buying him precious moments he needed to retreat at full speed. God damn it, what the hell is this thing? Once again, Hansen surveys the surrounding space, trying to find the elusive and deadly enemy. There, it's heading right towards the gun dog. You point towards a small pulse of light amongst the stars showing on the screen. His scowl deepening, Hansen once more pushes his controls and the Juno to their limit, moving to pressure the attacker at top speed. Oh, this is amazing. As the enemy shrinks into the distance, on the Juno's monitor, Hansen doesn't let up speed, maintaining the high level of acceleration. The tremors you can feel in the cockpit grow more intense the faster the armored frame moves, grabbing onto the straps, holding you in place with both hands as you pass your eyes over the readouts on the cockpit's various dials and sub-monitors. Almost all of them are flashing warnings or alerts, with the needles on all the majority gauges in the deep in the red. So yes, we're gunning it. Cruz, if you keep this up, the Juno is going to fall apart. Slow it down. Hansen smirks at your order, scoffs as he somehow finds more acceleration that increases the vibrations to the point that you feel like they'll shake you to pieces any moment now. This is my Juno, Lieutenant. Don't tell me how to treat her. She's not as delicate as she looks. And we're going to need all she's got to get back to the gun dog before that thing. Cruz, if we get back, we're dead. Yeah, you can write me up in to the captain when that happens. Fair argument. You groan and close your eyes, trying to ignore the beeps that's started at the high-pitched whine you hear coming from the back of the cockpit. You're aware of every second that passes as the two of you race back to the gun dog, the tension worsened by the near-constant screaming of the warning systems. With Hansen in control, all you can do is hope that you get back in time before the gun dog can be cut to pieces by the weapon you'd been seen making short work of the O'Brien. All right. guys, we're going to stop it there because I think that's a great cliffhanger. So I don't know if next episode is going to be the last episode or not, but either way, I hope you guys have been enjoying. I certainly have. This game is so cool. I hope you guys have really been liking the story as well. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. As always, guys, I'm Elwirfy. Thank you for watching, and I'll definitely see you guys next time.